First, I want to put a shameless plug out there for my book, Flying Solo. It's coming out in August, August 30th. Do me a favor. Go to my website, jl3motivation.com, or just shoot me an email at jlewis at jl3motivation.com. Because send me your email so that I can actually put you on the list for pre-sales. Listen, this book is going to be a game changer because not only is it addressing the single parenting journey, but it's also addressing mentalities. Realize that when things change, it's an opportunity. You see, grief, whatever type of grief, may be a loss, like a death, or some type of financial situation or a job change. Those type of griefs create opportunities. And those opportunities allow you to grow. Put it this way. People like Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg was fired from his company, Solomon Brothers. And when he was fired, the guy had worked for the company like 15 years, but they let him go. If he had never been fired from Solomon Brothers, you would not hear about Michael Bloomberg and the Bloomberg Network. The guy's worth like $80 billion now. Whatever we go through in life, we have to make a choice to either move forward or to allow the circumstance to engulf us. There are a lot of people that make that mistake. They live in the challenge that they've been subjected to. We know that there are conditions now, literal health conditions, where people cannot move forward after some type of death, after something happens. Unfortunately, when that does occur, you're not going to be able to find anything that's going to help you move forward. In my book, Flying Solo, there's a particular chapter that talks about when you go through that challenging period, that widowers or widows experience, and people who said they'd be there for you. They weren't there. You're going to get your sympathy for the first week, 2, maybe even 3. But then after that, everybody has to go back to their own world. You have some people who have the intention of being there for you. But then life happens. They got families. They have to take care of their needs. And you're not high on that priority list because they have to take care of their circumstance. And then you got those group of people that, I'll be honest with you, they probably didn't like you in the first place. And they simply tolerated you because of who you were married to, because of who your spouse was. The unfortunate truth of that situation is, well, you can make the choice to be mad at them after you found out that they didn't really care much for you. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going to grow from this. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I'm going to keep on doing my thing because these people, they didn't respect me in the first place. Their claws came out right after you had your situation. And what ended up happening in that respect was you found out. And see, that became important information for you because it allowed you to be able to understand that, you know what, you don't need someone else to justify your circumstance. You just simply need to keep moving forward. I'm gonna actually read a little excerpt from chapter 3 on Flying Solo. It's called The Strength in Change. And when something happens, you're going to automatically change. But there is strength that is found in that. I mean, think about it. We we go through growing pains, and at times, things like our knees hurt when we were younger, things like that. But that all allowed us to be able to grow. Butterflies, when they're breaking out of the chrysalis, that is actually adding strength to their wings, and it enables them to fly. So understand that when we're faced with some type of challenge, with some type of difficulty, some type of grief related situation, it's an opportunity. You don't see it at the time. You definitely don't see it at the time. But over time, you realize that the situation provided you strength. I know, because like I said, when my wife died, I had no idea that I had certain gifts or talents in me. But the blessing about it was that I was able to unearth those different things. But let me share this little excerpt of the chapter real quick. It says, your friend groups, they may change because of your new status as a widow or a widower. What you knew and believed about people in the past may not be the same anymore. It's not that they're being cruel. There are several reasons that could affect the relationship. For example, they may have been used to you being in a couple situation. It's now difficult to emotionally detach from perceptions, and now they see you differently. You also might remind them of their own loss. This was my case. It took time for me to understand that it may be that you would just simply tolerate it because of the union with your deceased, with your friends or your family. That was also a realization that I had to come to terms with as well. One other reason, one thing you don't want to do, don't internalize it and don't believe that you're the cause. It's essential to be mature and recognize not all relationships are permanent. Some connections only last for a season, no matter how long that season is. If you find yourself unable to get help from certain individuals, don't feel upset. In retrospect, it may have been beneficial to go your separate ways. Don't adopt any type of adversarial mindset towards those who don't offer you support. Such a mentality, it doesn't serve you any purpose. It can bruise your ego, but don't let your emotions overshadow your objectives. Continue to move forward and seek some support elsewhere. Stay focused on your goals. Be open to forming new, meaningful relationships that can provide or assist you in some type of companionship if you need. Over time and during your journey, you're going to discover members of your new tribe. They may be people that you never considered. They may be relations with individuals from your past or people you were dealing with prior due to some type of shared circumstances. For example, one of my people, one guy that I really rely on, back in college, he was my mortal enemy. But years later, he has become one of my best friends. Time, circumstances, and maturity actually forged that relationship. He was actually there for me during one of my most challenging times of my life, the death of my wife. That's an excerpt of Chapter Three's Flying Solo, The Strength of Change. Understand that what we need to look at is the fact that when things happen, we can believe that other people are going to be there to help us. And when they are there, that's great. But if they're not there, understand that you have the strength. I was listening to Lisa Nichols, and she was saying something. She said, "You know, love yourself first. Anybody else's love, that's extra." See, when everybody else falls by the wayside, when you have that love of yourself, guess what? No one can take that away. And loving yourself is primary in any situation. When you go through grief, when you go through any type of hardship, loving yourself is the key to you being able to manage through that circumstance. Because if you don't love yourself, you're going to constantly hear those negative voices in your head. The ones that are telling you, you're not good enough. You can't make it. You're not going to be able to do what you need to do. And the reality of that situation is that if you're talking to yourself like that, then it's going to become your truth. But when you make the decision to love yourself and those negative, defeatist voices come in your head, you have the strength to combat it by saying, no, that's not true. I got this. I love myself. And I'm going to figure out a way. When that happens, then the mind works with you. You see, when you tell yourself that you love yourself, and when you tell yourself, I'm going to figure this out, your mind will work with you to do everything it can to offer you the assistance that you need to move forward. Like I said in the excerpt, look, if something happens and the people that you thought were going to be there are not there for you, don't worry about it. I know it's not easy to let it go, but realize that if you don't let it go, you just stay encapsulated and you end up giving your power away to people that frankly they don't care that much about you in the first place. And I'm not saying that to say that these people are just mean to you. It, more than likely, it's their mentality. And they would have done what they did to you to anyone. It just so happened to be you. And yet, you want to believe that people are going to be sympathetic to your loss, to your circumstance. You want to believe that. But the reality is that everybody else has their own thing going on. You have to find a way to pull yourself up and manage through that circumstance. Again, Flying Solo is going to be out August 30th. Definitely get your copy as soon as it comes out. Go to my website, jail3motivation.com, and leave your information so that we can put you on the pre-order list. Or just shoot me an email. JLewis, JLewis at jl3motivation.com. Because either way, we'll make sure that that book gets out to you. And, let me know if you want a signed copy, because I'll definitely sign it, send it on over to you. But realize that this particular book, again, it's about single parents and how to navigate the single parenting journey. But it really is also about mentality. So it can be utilized in almost any format. Whether you're navigating your work situation, whether you're looking to build a business, whether you're looking to reestablish yourself in some way, shape, or form. This book talks about how to build resilience, how to find growth through the challenges that you navigate through. So again, I am in love with this book. You know, it's my very first time writing anything, and I had no idea that I had a book in me. Definitely pick up a copy of Flying Solo.